The human brain is an incredible thing. It can truly control the outcome of your day. And I'm not just talking about the decisions you make, but I'm talking about your mentality on a variety of things. If you think your day is going to be horrible, it probably is. Now, in the collecting world, this is also very true. A lot of times, a statue is coming to your collection, and you either have reservations about it, and you find out that, hey, this statue kind of sucks when you get it, or you've hyped it up in your mind, or maybe other people have hyped it up so much that you see through flaws and issues that it has. Now, we've all been guilty of that, meaning all of us have hyped a statue that really wasn't as good as we thought it was in our head. But have you ever done the opposite? I couldn't even think of a funny sexual innuendo with all of that. Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Everyone, welcome to the Extreme Channel. Usually you see me putting a statue here and giving you my thoughts on it. Sometimes the thoughts are, man, this statue could have been better. And sometimes this is exactly what I wanted it to be. But every once in a while, it's, wow, this is even more amazing than I thought. So Johan A., who is a great follower of the channel, he actually recommended this video. He said, why don't you do a video on statues that exceeded your expectations? Now, this is a little difficult to do because your expectations vary from statue to statue based off a number of factors. In fact, in this video right here, I talked about things that affect the price of a statue, but you could have also aptly titled that things that affect your expectations with the statue. And it listed everything from hype to pop culture. So expectations with the statue a lot of times is variable and subjective. Look at all these big fucking words I'm using today. But I went through a list and I came up with 15 statues that I was really excited for, but when I finally put them here on the table, they blew me away even more. So that's the countdown today. We're going to start at number 15, which is still a great statue that exceeded my expectation, but we're going to increase that level of awe more and more until we get to number 1. So with no further ado, I don't know what the fuck a do is, but hairdo, Mountain Dew. So number 15 is the first statue in a line that I'm getting most of the line. So the other statues, some that are coming in very soon, may have been on this list. Starting with Prime One Studios' Jungle Hunter Predator, their big one. Yes, I found a lot of issues with it, but it is still absolutely amazing. I had really high expectations. There was a lot of hype around the statue, and it did not disappoint. So much so it didn't disappoint, but it even exceeded those hyped expectations. This one would probably be higher up on the list if there wasn't so much pre-hype around it. Is that a word too? I'm saying a lot of weird words. Number 14 is an older piece, but to this day it still holds up. When I got in this custom Loki on Throne, my mind was blown. And if you go back and watch this video, I do apologize. It is a little bit cringeworthy. It's 4 years old. I think it was the first video I ever did on YouTube. But this exceeded my expectations. I still love it to today. And I was not upset by the aftermarket price tag I paid way long ago. Number 13 is on there because it really hasn't been beat as the best Superman statue out there in my opinion. This is of course Prime One Studio Hush Superman. Exceeded my expectations. I bought it because it was a big ass Superman and I thought it would go great with Doomsday. But every time I walk by it, I'm like, damn, this statue that's probably 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, is still the best Superman. Because every time I look at it, the sculpt is just phenomenal. And the static pose of Superman being a badass raised in the air just exceeded my expectations even to this day. While you're seeing one of the most coveted Wolverines in this picture, this is not about him. It's about this custom Sabretooth. I think it's the best Sabretooth statue that's ever been made, and I've seen some really good ones. But definitely exceeded my expectations, especially since this was my first professional painted piece I've ever had. So I think that might have something to do with it besides the awesome sculpt. Now we're going to get into ones where I wasn't as excited when I bought it. So why'd you buy it, Mr. X? Because I'm stupid and impulsive. But when I got it, I was like, wow. And that starts with this custom dynamic Venom. I can't believe how much I like this. I've owned 30, probably 40 Venom statues, and I only have 3 or 4 true Eddie Brocks left. This is one of them because it's absolutely amazing. The dynamic aspect of this, the perfect representation of Venom. It's based off a cover. Coming in at number 11 is this dynamic Venom. This next one is one that I ordered without even seeing what it was. And then I saw what it was and my expectations were pretty low. The bar got really low. And then I got it in and I'm like, damn, this is pretty freaking good. That is this custom Magneto on Throne. I've had a number of custom Magneto on Thrones on this table, and while this may not be my favorite, it far exceeded the expectations. Maybe it's because I was lowering the bar. I was a little disappointed with initial photos, but now that I have him, I think he's great. Number 9 is an old one, and it still holds up. But you know this exceeded my expectations because when I reviewed this years ago, I said this is the best licensed piece I've ever seen. That's right, Prime 1 Studios 1/3 scale Mr. Freeze. The detail on this was simply amazing. This is Prime 1 Studios' bread and butter. They're 1/3 scale DC pieces. They do absolutely amazing. There's a couple more on this, but I was really impressed with Mr. Freeze. Really got me into that entire 1/3 scale line. And while some of those are not as good as him, some have been. Number 8 is a recent one I've done a bunch of videos on. It's this Magneto throwing a head. So this far exceeded my expectations, and what was interesting is I did a poll on YouTube on which was better, this or the hand, and this one won, but then on the comments when I compared them and people saw close-ups, they liked the hand better. Hand's still up there behind me, and he's in a different display because I kept him because he is very, very cool. One of the coolest Sentinel pieces I've ever seen, although I don't know if he's my best Magneto, but stay tuned. Make sure you've not only liked this video, but sub to the channel because we have a giant Magneto countdown coming with 25 different Magneto statues. Number 7, I had to group these 3 together because they're all like that. These Wolverines. Now, the Samurai specifically had a ton of hype around it. But if you remember from the video on this, we didn't even know what the character was when we bought it. All 3 of these exceeded expectations. These are all been professionally painted. I think they work really well together. But individually, I didn't want to each give them a spot, but they all come in at number 7. Number 6 was kind of surprising. I have all these giant Sentinel pieces, but to this day, the second one I ever received is still one of my favorites because it exceeded expectations. Not a huge Cyclops fan, but they knocked it out of the park with this. In my opinion, still the best Cyclops statue ever made. Tons of cool switch outs, how dynamic it is, attacking the hand right here. It's one of the coolest statues I actually own in my collection, and I still feel that way. We're down to the top 5. Can you guess what some of the top 5 are? Throw that down in the comments below because that could win you a statue. As we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you wanna make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. 5 is Batman Who Laughs. You know, I didn't really know much about the Dark Knight Metal storyline. I read it after the fact, after I actually got this statue in. And the storyline's kind of eh. I really love the characters, that's why I have the entire line. But this Batman Who Laughs statue by Prime 1 Studio is one of their best statues they've ever made, in my opinion. And it's definitely, in my opinion, the best Batman Who Laughs statue. Far exceeded expectations, especially for a character that I just bought because the statue looked cool. Number 4 is an old one. This is a custom statue. It's a throne statue, and I actually have another custom throne statue of this character that's even better, but I've kept this one because every time I look at it, it blows me away. I remember opening up this custom Doom on Throne. Unfortunately, it was done by a company that scammed a lot of people after they made this project. They made a few other projects, but it still exceeds expectations every single day. That's why I came myself to give it up, although I have 2 Doom on Throne statues. Number 3 is one you see a lot in videos. It was actually my number 1 custom statue of the year, and I never would have guessed it because it's not a popularized character. But this Toxin went well and beyond my expectations. I bought it because I was doing an entire symbiote line, and I do like Toxin's story in the Carnage events. He's Carnage's son. But this far exceeded my expectations and came in as number 3. Regarding that. 2 is one, I think this is still the best statue of this character I've ever seen. I think it still holds up despite a lot of ones coming out. And that's Prime 1 Studios' Alien Dog. This is a fantastic statue. It far exceeds most people's expectations. And I think something indicative of this, when I'm filming this in 2024, you can still flip this and make money on it, which is really rare in the statue world and the economy we have. So I think that's another indicator on how much this exceeds the expectations of anyone who owns it, especially me. So now we're down to number one. Number one, I expected it to be cool. And it's a little bit older. It's a statue about 5 years old. And at that time, it was the most I've ever paid for shipping on a statue because it's big. And it wasn't the size that exceeded the expectations. I've tried to sell this 3 or 4 times, and in my brain at least, not vocally to you guys. And I can't do it because every time I look at it, it's like this is the coolest freaking statue no matter what. XM Studios Hulkbuster. I know people are fans of the Queen and some of the customs out there. I think this is the best. And if you've seen this in person, you're like, wow. Also the fact that it's the comic version, not the movie version, I like that a lot. But XM Hulkbuster, that has way exceeded my expectations, times 10, the number one statue that when I got it in, I was like, this is going to be cool. And then I saw it, and I'm like, this is not cool. This is unfreaking believable. And I still feel that way to this day. So that's why he's number one at the top of the list. Since I couldn't think of a clever intro, there's no clever outro either. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Please comment below if there's something on the list that maybe you own, something that exceeded your expectations. Also, if you could, drop me a like. I really appreciate that. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.